Okay, my check. I'm on live. Sorry, I'm on live screen now. So we will continue from here. I'm able to see that my screen is clearly visible. See now. So we will continue from here. I'm able to. My screen is clearly visible. See now. So where we are last time. So we are on like we are understanding the concept of this decorator, right? Or we are implementing it. So we need to check if this code is correct or not. So here we will learn like Control Z. So here we will understand. We want to call the. Can this syntax is correct for creating a method? Let's see this first. Copy. Claude is there. So what it's saying that missing return statement in the decorator, the print number decorator does not return the inner print function. Okay, we will implement add it. Okay, better name than print result. Okay, let's copy this program and let's place it here. Paste it here. Just give the wrapper name and see, previously we do not have the print functionality. Currently this print functionality came here. Okay, so if I will run this, not mean current file, so it will print sum of two numbers, some result. Correct? Yes. Wait. This function will return something. Return this one. There are few questions arising here. Okay, we understood why a return statement required. Because obviously, if the function will not return something, it will not come to the result. Okay, the line number 4. But why again return result required? And then why again return wrapper? That we need to understand. Why we required return result and return wrapper. Explain me return wrapper. Explain me the beginner's perspective. print numbers creates a wrapper function but does not return it. So add numbers become none. So for example, so my one more doubt is, if we are getting the value in result and in when in the line result equals to function, then why we again need to write return below print statement. Yes, return result, we capture the result, we print it, no return statement here. Answer equals to add numbers. What will be the answer? Then tell me, but but add number function having return return statement. Add number functions having return statement. Then y answer will be empty when we write answer equals to underscore numbers. It will call add numbers and gets the return value, right? Am I right? When you use print numbers, the original add number function gets replaced to wrapper function. So you what Python actually does without decorator. What do you think happens? It's called original. No. Step 1. Python creates the original function. This. Step 2. Python passes add numbers equals to print numbers of original add numbers. Passes to the decorator. Okay. Explain me step by step execution flow of the decorator code and what exactly Python touch. If you understand this first, then only we can continue, right? When Python reads the code, function in the memory. Page 1. Step 1. Python sees the decorator function. Print numbers is now available. Second, Python seeks a decorated function. Step 2. Decorated function. Oh, I need to decorate the next function. Python stores this function in the memory Numbers now available. Decorate function. So oh, I need to decorate the next function. Okay. Perform decoration. This is the magic. Python does this behind the scenes. First create the original add numbers function that return 5 plus 7. Pass it to decorated function. Print numbers, original add numbers को भेज देगा उसके पास. Replace the name add numbers with the replace the name add numbers with the decorated version. Okay. One print numbers was called function step original add when print numbers original add numbers was called function equals to original numbers the 5 plus 7 function. Step 2 refer function is created. This function captured in its wrapper function is created. Wrapper function is created with function capture in its closure. Okay. Created wrapper is returned and assigned to add numbers. ओ तो उसका जो वैल्यू है वो ऐड नंबर्स में चला गया. रैपर का जो एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू उस रैपर फंक्शन बन गया. Execution time when we call add numbers, this is actually calling the wrapper function. Obviously add numbers के पास में wrapper function prints this, call the original add numbers, print sum 12, return 12. Step 7 calls function. Function is the original add numbers. Compared to your code definition. Okay, just become a little bit complex. We will understand one by one. We actually understood, right? Yes, we need to return the wrapper because we are calling every time the wrapper function. Then when we call this, we will getting nothing. Okay, so that's the reason that we got to understood. So let's go to the code base ones. Like what is happening? So when we are calling this function, so what is happening? So internally for Python, first with memory storage, it will store this in the memory. Let's not go to the memory and all. Okay. So what happened? So just go to directly the execution flow. Just don't think about it. When you are calling this function, okay, we are not calling directly this. We are calling this wrapper function. So internally, what happened? This function itself become the wrapper function. How it happened? It is obviously in the memory. It shows here that this is a so this here print numbers original add numbers. What is this? Decorated function. So what exactly happened in this line when we are seeing this? Or this random function having this function, correct? Okay. Here what happening when you are executing this line, this specific line started executing. So this wrapper function is creating and assigning to add numbers function means this uh, this add to numbers function itself become the wrapper function. So when we are calling this, then that moment we are directly calling this wrapper function. This comes to here, correct? When we comes to here, now the original add to numbers function is calling, is printing and calling, correct, and returning the result. Obviously, that is the reason if you see in the above examples, if we don't write like answer equal to something and if we don't return, then we can't print the answer. So for example, if you don't write the result of the return result here and we write here, okay, answer equals to this and we want to print the answer, then in that moment what will happen, uh, we can't able to print this. Print answer if you will write, sorry, print answer if we answer has to be print. We can't able to print this, okay? will not print the answers. Same, if we don't prepare the wrapper, even if we call, then this function calling will happen first, then we will not get, we get error. Okay, so this is happening internally with this basic wrapper. Understood? Now let's go to the fast API. We called, it's a path operation decorator, because this slash is obviously, we know about here, it is a, what is this slash called? This is a path, it will get to a some path, some files, some place. When we call, it will go to the specific pages or do some operations. Let's understand this. What is this slash? Okay, let's search about what is this slash. What is the path like? Okay, not here. More descriptive one. Let's go. Let's do description. What is the slash or slash xyz slash users? And what its I'm getting a call. Let's An API endpoint is a URL that acts as the point of contact between an API client and an API server. API clients send requests to an API endpoints in order to access the API's functionality and data. Obviously, when clients send the request to access the functionality of the API, they use API endpoints. A typical REST API has many endpoints that correspond to its available resources. For instance, an API that powers a social media application would likely include endpoints for users, posts, and comments. Request to API endpoints must include a method which indicates the operation to be performed, as well as necessary headers, parameters, authentication credentials, and body data. We explore how API endpoints work. Before reviewing some best practices for designing and developing them, we will also review the differences between REST endpoint and a GraphQL endpoint and discuss how Postman API platform can help teams. So we will not go in detail everything, but we will understand the overview of it and we will keep a note that what is an API endpoint we need to learn. I need to learn what is API endpoint and how it works in detail. Hmm. So API endpoints work by connecting API clients and servers and handling the transfer of data between them. A well-designed API should have clear and intuitive endpoints that provide predictable way for clients to interact with server resources. For example, REST API that powers a simple blogging application might have following endpoints, which can be accessed to retrieve list of users or create new users. Author's ID. Hmm. So when to retrieve specific users, update existing user, or delete a specific user. So in this example we can see that API exposes two sets of endpoints, one for author resource and one for article resource. Each resource can be accessed through two different endpoints depending on the type of operation the client would like to perform. Interested in seeing all the authors in the database, it would send the request to the author's endpoint. In contracts, the author's ID endpoint enables the client to view, update and delete data. So we understood from this, we are able to understanding that when this is a path, why we call them, this is a path, okay. So my understanding is we calling them path because it's a path of a specific resource. So for example, I am creating a social media where I want to, when I'm clicking on like, the like data should be, I want to know that, like for example, I'm streaming on YouTube. Okay, let's go for it. So this wait, let me go check 1 second. So here if we will go, we can see lots of things. What is the category? So this title may be stored somewhere. Okay, so this, so for example, this, for this title to get this, this is the live streaming happening and this is the URL obviously. and these data for this functionality to show me, it is stored in somewhere, correct? So these, to show this, to get this specific data, it have this. If I will change a tab, if I click on this YouTube Studio now, the URL change, and this specific resource somewhere else, where the channel dashboard, this some subscribers or something else, it is coming, correct? So these are the things, like these are the things stored somewhere else, correct? Because here, like here we are understanding that okay, these are the things are stored in somewhere else, these photos or this something. To access these resources we need to go somewhere, right? There we can see, understand, like this is a library, we have multiple cells and multiple places, and to get there you need to go to the specific path, specific place. So when we are clicking on the content, we are getting to a specific place. When we are clicking on the dashboard, we are going to different place, to different access. That's the reason we calling it as a path, to get to that, to access the specific resources. That is clearly explained here. One second. Yeah. See, like when I click on it, little bit changing. Correct. So this is the path, and these all things, this is the reason it is saying that here exactly it said that each resource can be accessed to two different endpoints depending on the type of operation the client like to perform, one for author resources and for article resources. So to get the resources we need to use, and this is the path. This, when we call only slash, this is only root, like we have only one page we can take where we have all the resource for that specific thing. We don't have specific endpoints. There we say root, we can say in the terminals, when we say that root folder we want to go to slash, we can say, correct? So and then specific which particular folder space or which particular resources we want to access. But then if I say that I want a specific photographs from a specific folder, slash something we are putting, right? Then we are getting okay, slash learning projects, and then it is inside this, we are inside now this. So this is the same way, it is the path only. And if you only slash means, then nothing means we are in the main root folder, correct? When you inside something, when going to access some specific folders or specific resources, same way, specific files we have, like for users we have files, or authors we have files, where we have operations where the code are written to get the numbers, or somewhere we use some code also written some other data required to get some data, multiple functionality, multiple functions there to get that function to resources. Obviously to get specific data, do some specific operations, we need to tell that. And to do the specific operations we have the methods, we have these methods. This is the put method. We will, if you want to get the information from that specific place, we can see that okay, we want to get the data only. If we do that post, then we can do insert something, we see there, correct? And then we will understand about what is dot get, how the post, how the put and delete, this will happen, we will get to in detail. It links URL part to a function. The slash inside tells first it's if someone sends an HTTP GET request to the root URL, then run this function. So what happened, that every GET call and post call, internally what happened, there's some method is there below it, which method needs to be executed, correct? Like here we have this add numbers method, correct? This add numbers method needs to be executed. So technically it is not executing this method. So sorry, we are not writing all these things, we are just writing this, and we want this add number methods to be executed. Correct? Yes, decorator will execute this, and internally we understood this wrapper process will happen, and it will get the data of this. Correct? So like 5 plus 7 12 answer, and what additional functionality it will do. So same way here it is written, then run the function right below this decorator, read root in this case. So it adds some superpower also, like when you use this, what additional functionality is coming? Listener, it will act as a listener internally. Listen for the request. What type of request it want? This get methods and all coming from the FastAPI class. So they want, okay, this is came and they want the output. It automatically handles the Python dictionary. So generally, this is what? This is a dictionary type written, but it converted into JSON, and then it will return the output. Correct? Into JSON, the standard data format for web APIs, before sending it back to the HTTP response. Correct? It knows how to automatically generate the awesome interactive documentation for your API and also status code. In essence, at the API get takes a simple Python function and transform it into fully fledged ready to use web API point. It will create new data and whatever it want to return data. But here, we also want to know this. In the backend series, we understood that that it is saying here that it is finally we are using JSON, which lets us create JSON objects easily, and value is a type that can hold any JSON data objects. Finally we are using this, like, but we don't need to use this because our things internally handled by the FastAPI, the decorator of the FastAPI, and as these lets us create JSON objects and value in the type. So, but obviously, this all the things are happening for us, but that is all handled by our decorator, and internally FastAPI have all these features. Then, okay, yeah. Not this. This already we read about, understand about this what we are doing on it. So what here happens generally? Creating a routing table that will map our URLs to functions like /health to check health check function. Route new creates an empty router with no routes defined. Then we have route/health get health method to add health route that can only support get method, and we will use this here again. So here they have like in the function they have like they are here they put like they defines what will happen when this function defines what will happen when route will call this method will execute. Correct. I want to explain this point. Okay. Function for the endpoint /health. We call these kind of functions as handlers. Okay. We can also call this function as a handler. Correct. Let's check it from the from Python. So let's copy this. say read root ej handler function. This is a handle. It receives the request, it processes the request and return the response. Correct? Yes. Because it receives the request, process the request and return the response. Here it says the same thing. We can call the same thing. And as we understood here, due to we use the decorator. The decorator will handle this JSON conversion. JSON value is the return type. It means return the response data. Here return the response data and JSON can contain any valued response. JSON bracket is a wrapper that tells Axon to set the content type. But here we need no need to use anything to say. Our FastAPI automatically set the content type application JSON header, and then serialize the data to JSON string. Correct? So let me check once. Okay. Let's copy this. This is Rust concept. Above one is the Rust concept. The Rust concept. Below one I am below I will tell our Python concept. Make me correct if I am wrong, or tell I am right. Or else. As we are using decorator function which will handle JSON conversion and setting of application /JSON in header and decorator function, which means decorator already have this additional functionality functionality and setting of set appropriate HTTP status. This will be. Now we need to understand that what is the content type application side JSON will do. But here we already read that. So this due to this it automatically handles converting the Python dictionary into JSON. Correct? Before sending it back to HTTP response. But then what is this content type is saying? Why this? What is the meaning of this content type? Why is what is content type? We need to understand that. So we will start this. Hmm, like why this Python decorator set this content type application slash JSON. We need to understand that. So today, so next stream I will start in some time. I will notify you everyone when we will understand this. What is content type and why this header needs to be set. Okay, let's end the stream and thanks for joining.